Triumph Rocket 3 GT, baby. Oh yeah, let's go, 2,500 cc's. Hold up. 2023 Rocket GT. This is a manimal of a bike, let me tell you what. The largest production engine on any motorcycle at all. And it is nestled between your legs. Now, I rode one of these the first time they came out, and I was genuinely impressed. So now that they've changed things around a little, I'm even more interested. This thing is awesome. It's a smaller bike for the size of the engine compared to like a Harley. Oh my word. Are you kidding me? All right, so let's stop and talk about this just for a minute. Oh, and it's got the burble. So this bike here is, again, massive. 648 pounds dry, 163 horsepower, and like the same amount of torque. I think it's like maybe 168 or 165. It's in the 160s. And the torque is the same. So it's a very torquey motor because you're talking about a car engine, essentially, in a motorcycle. And it sounds awesome. It actually has the reminiscent of a Honda Civic that somebody stole the catalytic converter out of. So redline on this engine is 6,500, but with such an amount of torque, I mean, that's 6th gear and just rolling onto it that's unbelievable. It really is. I remember the first time I rode one of these Rockets, I felt like I was driving a Honda Civic, and I almost never really even took it out of 4th gear. So this bike, for being as large as it is though, handles really well, and the suspension on this is actually quite comfortable, surprisingly, for a street bike. I mean, the GT and the S renditions are right there, but the GT actually costs almost $1,000 more. The gentleman told me that they're both relatively the same bike. There's very little differences, except for this one is set up more for the Grand Tour GT. Yes. I'm liking the rake on the handlebar too, which is a little different than the other one. It's got a little bit more of a lean back stance, and that is quite comfortable. Bar end mirrors, really sharp looking. But let's talk a little bit about this. So we have a dual-sided Brembo front brake, and this has a drive shaft. So you get that awesome launch feeling that you get with a drive shaft, direct engagement, no slouch. The TFT is the same as the other bikes. Look, you can even adjust the angle on it for glare. So that's nice. I like Triumph's TFT because it has like a couple little mini screens on the side which give you some quick information. Okay, so the suspension is a little bit rough, but it's not bad. It's not bad. It's more sporty. These are forward controls on this, which I wish maybe they had forward. I don't know. You can't really go down on this because the bike is too low slung. The controls are easy. I'm wearing ADV boots and I can shift easily, and I'm not cramped at all. Zero cramption. But the bikes, I love the exhaust on this bike from the factory. It's just got the, you let off that nice burble. This bike, looking at this bike, it really is a work of art. In fact, I think I'm going to pull over up here and take a few pictures. but the bike itself has some pretty nice lines to it. And of course, with the massive engine, you've got massive exhaust header coming off the side. It's really something else, this engine, to get on it and feel it. It's very well balanced as well. Like it's got a really good feeling to it with the ability to corner. Oh my word! This bike could get you into trouble. Guarantee you that right now. The suspension's a little harsh on this. I'm wondering what mode it's in, because well, actually no, this isn't electronically adjustable, so the suspension isn't going to do much. So it's been in road mode. There's a custom mode for sport. There's a rider mode, which allows you to custom tailor everything, and a rain mode. But I'm going to put this in sport mode. There we go. So she's in sport, which should change the ignition mapping, throttle position mapping, all that good stuff. I'm going to pull over right here and we're going to do a quick walk around, shall we? I'm going to try not to die. A little bumpy of a road. Oh, yikes. I think this is like an old armory. Here we go. Hold up, 2,500 cc's on this bad boy. Can you believe it? So here's a walkthrough. Look at the massive transmission underneath the engine. Triple cylinder off the side, coming off. Look at the double bug-eyed headlights, just like the old school Triumphs had. And look at the oil and radiator on this, oil cooler in the radiator. Huge. So, and as you could hear, it sounded amazing. Titanium brush. What a cool looking rig. Just really sweeps with the way that the bike is laid out. And being the GT, it's actually set up for a passenger as well. Although I don't see any passenger pegs on this one. So oh, wait a second. Wait, just oh my word. Isn't that Swiss Army knife? Wow. I love that, because you wouldn't even know it's there, and it looks super sporty. And then if she wants to go for a ride, then get on. Super duper nice tires. This has got 240 50 16s in it. I mean, those are a wide berth right there. And it even has like the BMW-esque mud flap deal, so that's kind of cool too. But yeah, this is a nice bike. I like the styling. I just think it looks mean, but more importantly, man, does it ride fast. And just another one quick styling cue too. You notice Triumph puts on their billet hydraulic clutch and master cylinder for your brakes. They didn't cheap out with the plastic ones, and I don't know why they did that on some of the other bikes. So yeah, pretty slick. All right, let's rock. Here we go. Wow. This thing is a weapon of mass destruction, I'll tell you. So much power. Forward controls though, I just put my foot right down into the ground. So for a cruiser, you know, you're not talking like mega performance. Just kidding. Oh my word. This has got to be the fastest cruiser on the market. I don't think there's a faster bike. It's unnatural. It's actually unnatural. When you look at this bike, I see this bike and I say, this is a grandpa bike, because it is pretty comfortable, and at the same time it's huge and looks like some sort of Victory off-spin creation of some sort. This engine should not be on a bike like this. But again, you've got huge tires, good brakes. The transmission on this thing shifts so solidly. And there's torque. So 100, it's in the 160 range for its torque. Its torque and horsepower almost match each other. Which again is, you don't usually see that. The Triumph Triple, the Tiger that I ran earlier, has almost 50 pound-feet of torque lower than the horsepower rating. So you get a super lag, but with this bike there isn't anything. And again, I'm turning, right now I'm churning up 2,000-ish RPMs. And it's got enough torque to just pull you back. But the red line on this is 6,500, so it's gonna give for a long time past that. And the exhaust on this thing sounds so nice. It's like burble burble. Oops, go ahead. Burble burble. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, launch. Oh. I mean, just keeping this in a low gear, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 RPMs, and the bike is still ready to, just ready to launch. Are you kidding me? Bunch of Pan American toilets. This bike would eat one of those for lunch, and those are fast bikes, but not even close to this bike. Not even close. I mean, this bike's illegal in 9 countries. This is the left lane syndicate right here, let me tell you. You just give it some. I wonder if you could wheelie this thing. I don't want to try, but I can. Forward controls, wheeling a forward control bike to me sounds dangerous. I haven't had this much fun on a demo bike in I don't know how long. I honestly don't think there's anything that could really touch this. I'm trying to think of what Harley model, because I mean we're talking cruisers, right? I did the 135 crate motor EVO thing that they did, and that was pretty fast, but it's definitely not as fast as this bike. Not even, it really isn't even, I mean it's fast, but it's not. This bike is a rocket. See what I did there? Wow. And the bike handles well too, so that was one thing the Harley kind of, like I was comparing apples to apples, the Harleys didn't have that same planted feeling. This thing is planted. This thing is planted. Wouldn't it be cool to turn one of these things into like a hooligan naked street fighter? that would be awesome. The tank on this is kind of wide, but there's actually like deep dish cutouts for your legs. So I kind of like that. Man. So what are your thoughts? Have you ridden one of these before? If you haven't, you better go out and try one. Compared to the first iteration of this bike, that when they first released it, night and day. They're totally different bikes, 100%. This bike literally feels like I'm sitting in a motorcycle that somebody put a car motor in. Again, 2,500 cc's is no joke. I mean, my RAV4 doesn't even have that big of an engine size. I don't know what these guys are doing. Just unbelievable power. All right, we're heading back to the fairgrounds. We're almost there. I just figured I'd give you my 2 cents and overall thoughts on this bike. In the cruiser category, I don't even know if this thing belongs in that category. Hold on, just one more time. Oh my word, if you were in like cardiac arrest and you just strapped yourself on and whoop, you'd wake up immediately. No CPR needed. Okay, let's just go back to my quick overview here. This bike, putting it in the cruiser class, I think it's like a little bit unfair. It identifies as a cruiser, but it feels like a street bike. It feels like a sport bike, except you're not hunched over. You find yourself grabbing onto the handlebars to hold on for dear life because it has so much power. I just skipped the tires. I didn't even pull the clutch in at 3,000 RPMs. I mean, it's unwholesome entertainment. So this bike, 10 out of 10 as far as power goes. As far as handability, this bike handles really good. Forward controls, it's a little heavy. You can feel it is a little bit heavy, but it is not anything like a road glide or anything like that. It's completely a different feeling. The wide tire gives you traction. If you had junk tires on this thing, forget it, it'd be all over. Without traction control, you just smoke and bake the tire right off this thing. But the suspension's a little bit harsh on it. It's a little bit stiff, but I mean, you can't have a plush suspension on a bike like this with this much power. It's just not, it would be unsafe. So I like it. And the suspension, I'll just reiterate, is not overly harsh. I think it's in line with a 650-pound bike. It's kind of where it should be. But yeah, excellent torque off the line, excellent drivability. The bike feels great. It's well planted, it's solid. 10 out of 10. I can't believe I'm saying this, but yeah, definitely 10 out of 10. And again, it depends on what you're going for and what you're looking for, but this is a bike that for cruising, if you could adapt this a little bit more to be like a touring bike, this thing would be a dangerous weapon. Taking this thing down the Blue Ridge Parkway, man, oh, that would be a joy. So, hey, let me know your thoughts. If you've ridden one of these, I'm curious. I love this bike. I'm in love with this bike. I really am. I'm going to change my name to Rocket. And Rocket 3, that is. So let me know your comments. If you've ridden one, I'd really like to hear it. Everything about this bike, though, very good. Brakes, obviously acceleration, handling, just everything about it is just really amazing. Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for your subscription, and as always, ride safe.